Hello everyone and welcome to Love Talk. And today we'll be speaking about something that most relationships have suffered with recently. And I say most knowing that indeed most of them, if not all, right?
Yes. And also we have so many ways to communicate nowadays, but we seem to be communicating less.
That's right.
So we're going to find out why and what's happening.
And today we're talking about time stealers.
Yes.
What steals time from a relationship? Like you were saying that there's so many different ways to communicate more, and we seem to be talking less to each other because now you talk a lot more online and so on. Let's see what people in the street of London have to say about this, how this is affecting maybe their relationships as well, and we'll be right back.
What are the main time stealers in relationships?
Men haven't got time. They are caught up with computer games, friends, pubs, and they just don't see the value in an actual relationship. It comes second place.
Can these things destroy a relationship?
Yes, they can. Because I think a relationship goes two ways, and unless both parties are willing to give an equal part into a relationship, then it's a waste of time.
I think it would be if he had like a best friend, and then if we're spending like most of his time with him rather than me. So yeah.
Can this thing destroy a relationship?
I think it can, because obviously like to improve your relationship you would want to be together rather than him like spending time with his friends. So yeah.
Main time stealer in relationships. Well, as far as I'm concerned, for my wife, it's probably her BlackBerry is her time stealer. She's on it, 24/7, from the first moment in the morning to when she goes to bed at night. That steals a lot of time.
And can this destroy your relationship?
No, I don't think it does. I think it's part of modern society now. We all sort of have to live with that sort of those products in our lives. I think you just work through them. I mean, it's not going to destroy a relationship. No.
Yeah, I think it's me on the phone usually, spending too much time on emails and connecting with other people and forgetting about my girlfriend.
Do you think that this can sometimes not destroy but kind of...
It annoys her to death, yeah. She hates it. She gets really annoyed with me.
Right, so when we talk about time stealers, we have to contend right now with things that we never had in the past, right? Before, when you talk about time stealers in relationships, you were talking about the guy going down to the pub with his friends to watch football, or the girl having an afternoon,
a girl's afternoon, or many afternoons with the girls.
Right. But nowadays there are things that were never there before. I mean, as long as both of you were in the bedroom before, that was it. Now people take their laptops to the bed.
They have a TV, a plasma screen in their bedrooms.
Screen with cable channels on different multiple rooms. So all these things steal time in relationships.
Mobile phones, smartphones actually, with the beeps always going off, like there's a new message, a new email, a new something else coming up. So it's like you have less time actually to actually communicate.
And in the past, if someone wanted to speak to you and they called you at home and you weren't there, they called you at work and you weren't there, they'd call you again. And right now we have this thing in our mind that if your phone goes off, if you get a message and you don't read it there and then, someone is going to die.
Yeah.
And chances are that's never really, very rarely is that going to happen. Right?
Yes. It's very good actually for emergencies. You get to speak to people from, really far away, like for example, our parents back home. Yeah. We get to speak to them through via internet, which is great. Yeah. Before we couldn't do that.
That's right.
But it's actually working in another way now. It's not really being beneficial anymore.
And then, of course, there is this competition on Facebook, for example, to see who has the most friends. And then you lose touch sometimes with your real friends, which are those that you see every day. Now, the problem is when all these things we just mentioned, you have, hundreds, literally, of cable channels, you have Facebook, you have your smartphone. When you put all these things together, there's so many things to do, so much information available that it starts stealing time from your relationship. And I don't know if you remember, we had an instance a couple of months ago when we went out for a dinner with a couple we hadn't seen in a while, And at one stage, I had to step out of the table and take a picture of what was happening, because there were about 6 people sitting on the table, and instead of talking and catching up, they were all on their smartphones. Do you remember
Everyone
that?
was on their phone. Everyone. No one was actually talking to anyone.
So we weren't really catching up.
No, we weren't. And this happens a lot. You go on the bus, people, well, I don't know, I wasn't born then, but many years ago, I hear that people, they used to chat on the bus, on the train. Now everyone is minding their own business, actually minding their own mobile phones or iPads or whatever, and they are not really making friends, talking to people. It's really, it has changed a lot, actually.
So let's talk about what steals your time, because you know, in the past you would get home, and when you had dinner, that was it. You had like a time to talk. Nowadays you have your TV on, you have your for sure you have your phone sitting next to you, so that if someone texts you, you can text back. And we don't really get time to talk. And if you think about it, Lena,
it's an addiction, isn't it?
but not only that, if you think about it, you can end up spending so much time together, but not really talking. You can spend a whole day, and because you're on your phone, because you're doing all these things, you don't end up talking to the person, finding out how their day was, for example.
For example, the very few times that we go out for a meal, Mr. James here has at his, dinner table, restaurant table, we're going for a meal. The very rare times we do that, he has his cutlery, the plate, the cutlery, and his mobile phone. So most of his time he's using his texting or answering emails, and I usually get upset with that.
Yeah. But I have to say, on my defense, that it's usually related to work, right?
I know.
In my defense, although it's not right, because when you're with your partner, she doesn't want to know about your work, right? But I mean, in my defense, it's to do with work. It's not because I'm talking to someone else.
Yes. However, for people at home, I know maybe you have the phone close to you, maybe it's relating to work, maybe it's relating to a family member or whatever, but sometimes you are having just a 20-minute quality time with your partner, or, with someone special, and I am sure that, the person on the other side can wait 20 minutes for you to spend some time with the person. That's why you actually go out for some time together.
And how many people they spend so much time updating their Facebook status, and they forget to update their relationship, the actual physical relationship.
That's
right?
a good one.
So they go on Facebook and they put, they go out, take some pictures, and come back home, upload the pictures, and tell everyone what they've been doing. That takes about, and then the thing is, you lie to yourself, because that's why it's called time stealers. Because you say like this, you know what, this is only going to take me half an hour. But it doesn't, because you upload your pictures, and then you start seeing pictures of other people, then it links you with God knows who.
With other people. And I actually know people that they are no longer together because of Facebook, because of chat rooms, because of, the person, she gets herself into this virtual world, and she doesn't leave her house or her bedroom or whatever. And the person isolates themselves, and then when the other person finds out the wife is having an affair with someone she doesn't even know, someone that she saw online, which the person could be lying. So you see, communication tools are very good for many things.
Talking to your family
abroad. It's a lot faster than to write a letter and post it. But you see, we always find a way to get ourselves into more trouble instead of reaping the benefits.
And the thing is this, of course, you need to think that a day only has 24 hours. And if you're going to dedicate half an hour or 2 hours of your day on Facebook, that's 2 hours that you took away from your relationship. That's why it's called a time stealer. That's why it's been destroying many relationships. And there has to be a time where you cut things off. You say, hold on a second. And that's why I was giving the example when we went out for dinner with this couple. We hadn't been out together for a long time, and it was really
over a year, I think.
Over a year. It was a really nice time to catch up, but there was no catching up, and that's why I said
the little boy, because it was a couple with a child. Even the little boy was on his
tablet.
Was it a tablet?
Yeah.
playing games. I'm like, what is going on here?
And then at one point I said, no, hold on a second. I have to stand up, walk
Take
away
a
from the
picture.
table while no one is noticing, and just take a picture. And so it happened that I stood up, walked away a little bit, nobody really noticed, and just took a picture, because instead of catching up, everyone
It's like
was so
this.
busy there.
How are you, James? You're right. So what's up? Listen, what are you having? Okay, order the same for me.
That's
So
right.
it's like,
Yeah.
you see, I think that, you know, with time, technology will advance even more. But I think it's important that we listen to those people. You know, I'm talking about grandparents, and we don't really need to go back
Yeah.
that long.
Yeah.
Our parents, I remember not having a mobile phone, so you can see that 10 years ago, 11 years ago, to now, things are changing really fast.
And probably that time you didn't have a mobile phone. If you're old enough to remember that time, it was a lot less stressful. I'm not saying we shouldn't use these things. They have their place
Yes.
in our lives, but there has to be some
There must be a
restriction.
balance, isn't it?
That's right. We're going to go into a break in a few moments, but after the break, we're going to come back to talk about guidelines and how you can take control back of your time again, how you can find a way not to allow these things to steal the precious time that you have together with your partner, with your loved ones. And I'm sure that after this program, you'll learn how to make a lot more effective use of your time. Before that, let's look what's happening in the celebrity world.
Britney Spears' new boyfriend, David Liccardo, who we honestly thought was her bodyguard at first, is reportedly quite the Prince Charming, and he might be the one, according to his friends. David's friend told In Touch he's a nice, grounded person. He isn't a drinker or a party type either. He's got really good family values. David's aunt adds, he's a true Southern gentleman, and I could never see him doing anything to hurt her. Looks like Britney may have a keeper. This time. Meanwhile, Chris Brown was reportedly flirting with random blonde chicks in LA nightclubs on Saturday night. Rihanna spent Sunday afternoon without Chris at the Lakers-Clippers game. At first glance, it looked like she was on a date with a random guy, but the guy is actually just her manager, Jay Brown, reports OK Magazine. So will the pair last long this time, or is it just for the publicity again? Who knows when it comes to these celebrity relationships? That's all for now. See you next week for more juicy celebrity gossip.
Welcome back. We were just talking here during the break, myself and Helena, that the most important means of communication is our mouth,
Yes.
our tongue, right? You have all these different means of communication. Actually, you're watching one now, the TV. But for many years, we human beings have been using the mouth to talk to, and our relationship. That's the best way to communicate.
And nothing can replace that.
Nothing.
So the first thing that the person you at home need to acknowledge is that when you don't make time for the person that you are with, be it with a family member, it doesn't have to be in your relationships like husband, wife, and boyfriend, girlfriend. You know, it's a problem. Because you know we do counsel many couples, and the root of their problem, 90% is what? It's lack of communication.
Or sometimes not lack of communication, but miscommunication.
Yes, miscommunication. The person doesn't know how to listen to the other person.
We were actually speaking to someone recently who was going through problems like this, that there wasn't shortage of communication. It's just that when the communication did happen, it was wrong. It's like there's different kinds of communication for what you want to do.
For example, people, we include ourselves in this. We are so used to having a mobile phone in one hand, an iPad on the other hand, the TV is on, the radio is on, or whatever is on, that we actually forget, we don't realize anymore that we are getting further away from the this human relationship that we are good at, but people are forgetting about, which is to talk. Let's have a cup of coffee, let's talk about how you are, how I am, and then people. So you need to understand that this is a problem. And sorry to cut in on you, James. People even forgot how. They don't even know anymore how to have a conversation.
Yeah, it's like if you take all these means of communication away,
What do we talk
They have
about?
nothing to say.
The weather.
Actually, someone said to me the other day, oh, you know, when I like to eat or be together with people at home, but have the TV on just for background noise.
Look how addicted we are to noise, to think, you know.
But let's talk now about, you know, how this can cause problems in relationship. I want you to think, you know, think a little bit about this. They say that the average person watches about 4 hours of TV a day. That's 4 hours. Think about it. While you're watching TV, you're not talking to your family members, you're not talking to the person you're with. Now, these are 4 hours that you can talk about problems. And hold on, I'm not going to be self-righteous and say that you shouldn't watch TV or that it's wrong. It's just that everything has its place. We have couples nowadays who go to bed, one with the phone, the other one with a laptop. And while you're doing that, you're not talking. We have couples who they have Facebook and they cross boundaries on Facebook, talking to people that they shouldn't. I was even talking to Helena that because of the nature of work we do, counseling people, advising people, sometimes we're about to go to sleep and there's people sending messages on Facebook asking for advice. Look, what do I do with this? But even then, and this is what we're going to do in a few moments to do with the tips, even then the couple has to know how to draw a line.
Yes, otherwise we would be the whole night answering emails, answering questions.
Yeah.
I mean, and then what's the point, you know, because you need time. You need time for you to invest in, with the other person you are with. You know, things are getting so bad. And I imagine in 10 years' time what's going to happen. What else are they going to come up with, apart from a mobile phone and everything? That it's like people, they don't even realize that they are getting further and further away from each other. Well, we have a Facebook comment today. Someone is commenting on today's topic, and it's Ricky. He says, work is obviously the big time stealer, and kids too. But time apart is just as important as time together. So that's his opinion. So before we had, like now, kids and work. But now we also have other gadgets, other things to keep us even more busy.
And the idea of this world, Helena, is that to be receiving information wherever you are. I don't know if you've noticed, there's very few places on this planet where you can go without an advert. You look at someone wearing an item of clothing, they have a logo there. That's information for your brain. You're driving, there's a billboard, there's these new fancy screens, with loads of lights and so on. Everything there to take your attention.
There's a lot of distractions, isn't it? Yeah.
We want to teach you now a few tips on how to not allow time stealers to destroy your relationship. Here's a few things. It's important for you to, when you get home, if you do need to contact a few friends or keep in touch with someone, to do it as quickly as you can and dedicate the majority of the time at home to your loved one. That is the most important thing. That goes for phones, right? Facebook, Skype.
Your neighbor who comes knocking at your door and wants to chat for an hour or two.
And actually, it would have been healthier for you to chat to your neighbor than to someone online, because at least your neighbor is a person you can see there in front of you.
Yeah, but still, even so, we have to even be disciplined enough to see when too much is too much.
Yeah.
It's family time now.
Someone once told me a very important tip about Facebook, and it is, not they mentioned to me, I heard them saying that you shouldn't contact someone on Facebook when you're on your own that you wouldn't contact with your partner next to you. And that's a very important rule. If you feel comfortable to contact that person when you're on your own as much as you would with your partner next to you, then it's probably okay. If not, it's something that is for sure going to cause problems in the future. Now, Helena and I went to a very, very interesting and very nice and fun pottery class, right?
And we didn't take with us the iPads or mobile phones.
That's
they were in our bags.
Actually, we did, but they were hidden in the car. But we went because it's something really nice for you to do with your partner if you want to. Ricky was even telling us, our teacher, that there are couples who go there and like on Valentine's specials as gifts, and it's really something fun to do together as a couple. Let's see how it went. Hi guys, we're here for a pottery class, and this is a great way for you to spend some time with your partner, wife, husband. I've got my flowery apron on just for laughs.
Doesn't it look pretty?
And we're ready to start the lesson.
I'm excited. It's my first time, so I'm
let's
looking forward to it.
Hey, well,
I forgot to introduce Ricky, sorry. Rick is going to be doing the class with us. He's a master, so we'll be taking tips and the lesson from him.
okay. I'm going to begin by showing you what I'm going to do with this clay here. It's a piece of red earthenware clay, and I use these wires to chop through and cut it into manageable pieces. So I'm going to give you both a piece here to get started
We
with.
should take our rings off, or what do you think?
Right, you can take your rings off a bit fine. What I usually get people started with is making what's called a pinch pot.
This is good
So-
for releasing tension. It's good for releasing tension.
Yeah, you can give that a good bash around, and you may want to break it into a more manageable size actually. So maybe break it into the size of an apple.
Big apple.
Big apple. So it's a bit like making a snowball, and bash it into a nice ball shape. And it's called a pinch pot because you're going to be using your thumb and your fingers to pinch. So pushing your thumb in, and then with your fingers you're going to pinch and turn. And the idea is this will build up the balls nice and evenly, and straight away give you a little
shaping
pop. Sorry?
I'm still shaping my one.
Oh yeah, so that's fine. So you'll have something like that.
Getting there. Is it okay like that?
That's fine, yeah. And what you can do with these pinch pots, you can use them to make other pots by joining both pieces together. So I'm going to give them both a little score.
Masterpiece.
Little pastry, sort of finishing off with that.
And if you're angry with your wife or partner, you can just do that. No, don't do that. That's a recipe for disaster, right?
It will be. Right, so what you can do with this now is join both sides together. This is one adaptation. I mean, you could do
So I can't do
one
that
of these
now.
as well. Well, you can do that one now, but you can. I mean, it's good just to be playful with the clay and just see what kind of things you can create.
Oh, it's a bird. Is that a bird or a duck?
No, it's a little bird I've made, you see. So you can see just two pinch pots shoved together, and very, very quickly, within 2 minutes, you've got a little bird shape. And you could add wings to it, or you could have it sitting by your little cup,
Yeah.
having a little drink.
I have no idea what this is going to be. I have no idea.
I
What
already
could-
know what I'm going to create.
So with this, you could do something else. So, for example, if you're from Portugal, so you might like to have a bottle of nice
Port wine.
port wine or something. So you might want to make say a bottle and try and sell it to your village.
You can pretend you have a candle inside.
Yeah.
That's half.
See, look. I don't know if you can get there my vintage port wine bottle with a half a spider there. But you should find this on eBay in 2 weeks for about 500 pounds.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Looks really nice, baby. Looks really nice.
See? Stop it.
Another thing you can practice here with your partner is to compliment your partner. Like I just did, right? Right?
I think these reflect the personalities. You've got the cat over there and you've got the drinker here.
Although I don't drink.
This is Kiko.
James X. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be, but That's a really potent, strong drink. So I'll leave it here.
James the 10th.
The 10th, that's it.
Yeah.
Perfect. What are you doing, Lena?
Creating a masterpiece.
Let me help you. Let's do it together.
You are destroying.
It's nice to see you going back to your historical roots with your port bottle. An interesting cup shape. I think you should stick to the wheel.
Yeah. And this just proves the whole point, being the fact that Helena did 2 and I did 1, that women can multitask, right? So on that note, we have to wrap it up. I want to thank Ricky for letting us come in. Thank you very much. And we hope that you can do something similar to this or like this, and I'm sure it will be
It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun for both of you. All right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You just saw there our pottery class, and it was a lot of fun. And you can see that Helena has a knack for these artistic things with her little cat.
I had to recreate my cat.
Yeah, and you could see that she did 2 items while I did 1.
And he helped you do yours.
He was standing next to me.
Anyway, I just would like to remind our viewers at home that we have a Facebook page. You can visit and take part on everything that's going on there, and also our YouTube channel, okay? If you weren't able to watch on TV, you can always go back and watch online.
That's right. So the most important thing about taking control of your time and not allow time stealers to destroy your relationship is to have a little something called self-control. This is very important. You need self-control when you eat, you need self-control when you drink, and you need self-control to deal with communication. Communication is important, but communication is most important in your relationship. What is the point if you communicate with half the world and you can't communicate with the person who lives with you? In fact, there's many couples who live under the same roof and are no longer talking to each other. Instead, they replace that by talking to people everywhere online. So remember, those 4 hours they say that most people watch a day of television, you can spend investing 2 of those hours, 3, by going on a pottery class, by talking about your problems and making your relationship better. Okay? Remember, the most important means of communication is your mouth. Okay? Until next time, have a wonderful night.